Hello and welcome to episode 12 of today's complaints. My name's Brad and I'll be your host. I had to wait till I got to the hill because Snake Lake is crowded today and not many people want to walk up this thing. So now you get the hiking version instead of the strolling version. Today I want to talk about the word literally, and it's not what you think. I understand you know the difference between literally and figuratively, but I mean its overuse. I think I've even started to do it myself in some of these videos, use literally when I really just didn't need to. I listened to a podcast that has two hosts. I've noticed one of them will actually begin sentences with literally. And when my granddaughter, I think about 3 years ago when she was 10, she learned the word, and I was trying to emphasize how it only has one single purpose, and that is to let the person know that you really mean it. I gave the example of sometimes somebody might say, no, he wouldn't go, I had to push him out the door. They generally don't mean physically. They meant like, here's your hat. It's been so nice to see you. It's getting late. Oh, let's look at those new tires on your car. Get them out the door. And I said, but used correctly, if this is the case, somebody might say, no, I literally had to push him out the door. He just wouldn't leave. So then her younger brother said, I literally ate lunch today. And I said, I just realized it's not that there's only one correct way to use literally, there's two, meaning there's two restrictions. It has to be actually a literal statement, and it has to clarify something. Like, I literally pushed him out the door. That's why I was giving them that example, to show that the word literally in that case tells the listener that I don't mean I told him it's late, I gave him his coat and hat, I said, let me walk you to your car. So, two purposes. And the second one is just as important as the first. We don't need to use the word literally as much as we have all been using it. And I'm so winded because I'm at Snake Lake again. And it's really crowded. So I discovered that if I just wait till the hill, I won't encounter anyone. And I didn't. So, we're actually over 3 minutes. Gonna keep it short. Before I hit record, this little kid I've never seen before with her brother and parents waved at me. And I'm not used to that anymore. This stuff is a people repellent. This is not a complaint at all. I remember a college professor always talking about. But let's examine the unintended consequences. One of the unintended consequences of having hair that looks like shit is that people never ever ask me for money anymore. And they used to ask me for money every time. I'm talking about like, I can be walking into the store and there's somebody sitting out there asking everyone in front of me. And then we make eye contact. And I'm not even looking at them like, don't you dare. I'm empathetic. But I don't have any money. And they just give me this look like, yeah, we're all struggling. But then another unintended consequence is that children used to see me as someone who was friendly. I think it's the whole grandfather effect. I changed a lot when my first grandchild was born. In fact, I've said this a lot since this happened, that I didn't realize it till after the fact, but before my first grandchild was born, I generally didn't like other people until they gave me a reason to like them. And as soon as she was born, everything just flipped. And now I just by default like people until they give me a reason not to, or unless they give me a reason not to. I just looked into that baby's eyes. She was only 4 weeks old. And she looked at me and smiled like, WTF? It's this? We're gonna be grandfather and granddaughter this time? It was so funny. We just looked at each other like, oh my God, this is the weirdest one so far. And I don't even believe, well, I guess now I'm a little more open to it, but I didn't believe in reincarnation or anything. It was an amazing experience. My daughter shows up. They were in another state, so they show up with this noise. I mean, I'm not kidding. I didn't know what it was. I knew they were on their way, and I let them in. And I heard a weird squeaking noise. And, you know, you young people with all your devices, I just figured they had some kind of an alarm or something going off. I knew they had a baby. I knew she was bringing the baby over, she and her husband. Nice. Somebody needs to get out here and cut some of this. Anyway, she and the husband were bringing the baby over. I knew that. So they come walking in with a car seat that's covered. I can't see the baby, but I can hear this weird sound, and I'm saying, what is that noise? And my daughter said, oh, she's upset. She's been traveling and she's not feeling well. And I said, well, that's okay. And she said, no, it's not. I was really looking forward to this just being a nice moment where you meet her for the first time, and normally she's not like this. Man, that traffic is loud. Snake Lake is great, but it's right next to the city. It's in the city. It's surrounded by traffic. That's the only downside, is the noise. I've never noticed it being this loud before, but I've never tried to do a recording in this spot before either. And I'm not at my turnaround spot for another 30 seconds. Or 20, I don't know. Right about this spot where this tree is where I'm turning around. So my daughter said, I really wanted this to be perfect. And normally she is just quiet and happy, and now you're going to meet her at her worst. And they pull her out of the car seat. I sat down, they put her in my arms, and she stopped crying. And she looked up at me, and we looked at each other like, really? It's going to be this time we're grandfather and granddaughter. I just felt it. It was like a telepathic moment. And she smiled and I smiled. It was literally funny. Sorry. And I guess this is a good time to wrap this up. But I'm just saying, if you're like me, if you're like I was, and you found out there's a grandchild on the way, and you can't get happy about it because you're too young, you're not ready to be a grandparent, well, just trust me, it's more intense than having your own child, because imagine it's like your child's a magnifying glass. There's something on my arm. And your grandchild's another one. So now instead of looking through a magnifying glass, you're looking through a magnifying glass that's looking through a magnifying glass. This is your baby's baby. I thought when they brought her over to meet me, or for me to meet her, I thought that, well, you know, I like babies, and this is a baby that I'm related to, so this is going to be even better than the average baby. But no, it is so intense, it's so life-changing. So if your kids are telling you, you're going to be a grandma, or you're going to be a grandpa. It generally comes at the time of your life when you're already lamenting how old you're starting to feel and look, and the last thing you need is to now be a grandparent. I know that sounds really selfish, or maybe it doesn't. Maybe it just sounds realistic. Speaking of realism, why? Why 10 minutes? Because that's how long you've been talking. I'm going to wrap it up really fast, starting right now. Thanks for watching episode 11 of today's complaints. I'm going to really work on making these shorter. And in that spirit, I will go off on another tangent here and say that I didn't realize it till this morning. What the hell am I doing complaining to YouTube viewers about the audio quality and the video quality with a channel that has comments disabled? Why am I wasting your time? It's not like you can tell me, hey, here's how you fix that. So I noticed PewDiePie has a good video about starting out as a YouTuber, and I have a lot of respect for what he does. I was watching him before he even really became all that famous. I was really surprised when it seems like they made him a character on South Park or something, or they referred to him. And I don't know if his channel had already taken off and that's why, or if the South Park guys just decided to give him a big boost. But I'll be watching PewDiePie's video on how to start out as a YouTuber. I did press play and saw that the first thing was equipment. I thought, well, okay, I can save this for later because this is my equipment, this phone. I don't have any money for any other equipment. But that might end up being the answer. I'd heard about a movie that was, and maybe there's more than one, that was filmed on an iPhone, the entire thing. So I don't understand why I would need to go buy a professional camera. It seems like this documentary filmed on the iPhone was some kind of an award winner. I think it was Searching for Sugarman or something about Sugarman. I gotta go. 12 minutes. I'm sorry. Okay, thanks for watching episode 12. Talk to you again soon.